Welcome everyone, it's Cosmic Girl 101 talking about the full moon in Scorpio in this video for you. I've titled it, Black Moon Lilith's full moon in Scorpio, because we have Black Moon Lilith currently transiting in Scorpio next to this lunation, which is happening on the 12th of May 2025. So this full moon's riffing off, if you will, the new moon in Taurus. And our last full moon was in Libra on the 12th of April 2025, and we have a very different full moon. The full moon in Libra was about relationships, us versus other, and how we come together, how we balance that out, what's of equality, what needs to go, and what's going to sustain, was possibly something everyone was going through on the 12th of April. And relationships were really highlighted, and any relationships of any nature was something that was highlighted on the 12th of April. But this full moon in Scorpio with Black Moon Lilith is a very different lunation. Scorpio, the zodiac sign of Scorpio, is all or nothing, and we are talking about truth. Truth of all things taboo, clandestine, hidden, Plutonian in nature, the modern ruling planet of Scorpio. Anything to do with power, secrets, and the more less than savory parts of our experience. Scorpio can do that, go there, can talk about the things that most people don't want to. And it's a full moon where it can be really uncomfortable what's happening on the 12th of May. This full moon's happening on a Monday, so the week's going to be almost nuanced by this full moon in Scorpio on the 12th of May. So it starts off with a bang. With Black Moon Lilith co-present in Scorpio, and Black Moon Lilith will be in Scorpio for quite some time. In fact, just for quick reference, let's see when Lilith gets into Sagittarius. So it'll be January 13, 2026. About January. So January. Okay, so she's in Scorpio for quite some time, and Black Moon Lilith's role through the lens of mythology is to create chaos of all things scorpionic, anything that's taboo, sex, slavery, S&M, prostitution, lies and deceit, anything that is to do with death, the unseen, mystery, mythos, Scorpio. So Black Moon Lilith is creating a lot of chaos with those subjects and topics of Scorpio to purge and release the truth, as uncomfortable as it may be. So Black Moon Lilith will be, oh goodness, what's going on here now? Oh, because I've moved the chart. Okay, so we need the moon, full moon in Scorpio, to be at 22:12. Beautiful. So it'll be at 22 degrees in Scorpio, and Black Moon Lilith is at 5 degrees of Scorpio. So a real truth bomb's coming at us on the 12th of May within ourselves, our own feelings, our own emotions, on the world stage, or events around us. And that means it is emotionally chaotic. When we hear a truth or acknowledge one, it can be quite a surge, a purge, that it can be almost like, my goodness, that come from the depths of me, that sort of feeling on the 12th of May, or it comes from something hidden from very, very long ago on the world stage or world events. And so it can be really, this has been going on forever, sort of full moon, and now we just find out. So that's how I see this full moon playing out in Scorpio on the 12th of May. So Black Moon Lilith is the oppressed one, suppressed. It's the part of the psyche that is not heard, known, and acknowledged, which can be very troublesome, especially when we're talking about Scorpio with this lunation. And if we're talking about oppression and suppression with women, anything to do with sex and slavery, prostitution, taboo things, mystery, anything archaic and to do with death, it can be an absolute wild time out there on the 12th of May. My goodness. And Black Moon Lilith, it doesn't care about the repercussions of her actions. That's why she's so chaotic. There's a relishing in watching people scramble with the truth. So that becomes nuanced when we think about someone or something in our own life or on the world stage on the 12th is reveling in poking the bear and exposing a very distasteful truth that is uncomfortable. And Black Moon Lilith is unfiltered. Couldn't care. So right now in the current world events on the news, on the world stage, I don't watch the news or anything. The only news I really get, honestly, from in full disclosure, like Scorpio, I get feeds on my YouTube channel because I don't watch mainstream media. I very rarely do, and if I do, it's not of free will. And if it's of free will, it literally be once every 6 months, just because I'm maybe feeling down on myself that day. I want to infiltrate my head with shit. It's the only reason I would watch it. But what has come up on my feed is in Australia, there's been a lot of protest about domestic violence, women protesting about that, and rightly so. Any domestic violence is still violence. So violence will be exposed here, or some sort of resolution or something's coming to light that can be quite uncomfortable for people, especially in Australia with this big push going on with protesting from women about being overpowered by the powerful, which we all know power is a big dynamic in the world that we live in today. And we also have the fashion houses and the beauty industry front and center, the exposure of slave trade. It costs a minuscule amount of money to make these high-end luxury items of fashion houses and cosmetic houses and targeting women, but we know that they're astronomically priced. There could be a resolution, or that could come to a head at the time of this full moon. Almost feels like a whistleblower moment. Black Moon Lilith couldn't give a shit. She's really bitter. She's really cranky. She's been oppressed forever. And then all of a sudden, a whistleblower comes in and goes, I've had enough of this. This is the truth. And it can be, whoa, at the time of this full moon, for sure, is what I'm getting there. I wouldn't be surprised too with Mars in Leo, the ancient ruler of the zodiac sign of Scorpio. Could be, I'm going to put it out there, someone like Meghan Markle or someone in the royal family blowing the absolute lid of something regarding sex, oppression, fighting against power, against royalty. Pluto, the modern ruling planet of Scorpio, is retrograde in Aquarius. Again, this sort of indicates to me astrologically that there could be someone literally talking from the grave, exposing a real truth that's going to have a knock-on effect for society and humanity moving forward. Yeah, an uncomfortable truth being disclosed about abuse of power, women's slavery, prostitution, the black market, anything like that. But a bit, Black Moon Lilith, again, I'm really hammering it home here. This reveal, this exposure is a bitter one. So this is meant to pack a punch. This is meant to hit home. And it really will have ripples effect through society, I believe. Okay. So the moon is, before we do that, so both ruling planets are squaring the lunation. So this also indicates a lot of conflict about the timing. Because if we have conflict, we just go, now's not the time. So Black Moon Lilith, again, isn't interested in the timing of it. And this indicates a quick reaction to the truth bomb on the 12th of May. So someone comes out with the truth, and then all of a sudden it's literally hit on the head quite quickly. And Black Moon Lilith will be doing everything in her power to keep the voice and the truth going in Scorpio, that water fixed sign of Scorpio, which fixates and is bulldoggy, white knuckles it, and will not let go until she is heard. The conflict may be to hit something on the head quickly, but I don't think that's going to come to pass. I think it's going to keep, that's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, the truth that just keeps on rolling out, which is helpful because ultimately we're about truth and equality, and Black Moon Lilith not being equality, not being of equal measure to other people. This is where it becomes a real problem. Suppressing something, hiding something is a real problem for people, and we can't have that if we're to have a bright future, which is what Pluto's doing, retrograding here in Aquarius. It's about the future and transforming the future by tilling the soil in Aquarius, which is our minds, our communication, our speech, our thoughts, our ideologies. And it can be quite cold, this information as well, because Pluto is squaring that Black Moon Earth, and the conflict is, oh God, this could come off really cold, this response, this acute action. So the powers beware of trying to snub this truth or reveal out. Absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk about the opposition, because full moons are always about oppositions, and the sun's transiting in Taurus. 4 degrees, nearly 5 degrees away from the sun is Uranus in Taurus, and we also have Mercury in Taurus. So these celestial bodies, these guys are opposed to this reveal, if you will. Taurus is comfortable. It's in its 5 senses. It's interested in beauty. It's interested in things that are peaceful and harmonious and just so, treading a line, holding a line, keeping it all very tempered and measured. And the ruler of Leo is a sun, where it's quite happy. Yet Mars is in Leo, squaring the lunation, squaring Taurus, indicating, if anything, to do with powerful people like royalty, etc. Their comfort zone is going to be completely thrown for a six, because with Mercury and Taurus, we're talking about measured, deliberate truth, and it's squaring that retrograde Pluto, indicating that the again, action about communication is going to be really quite the story of the day. But this sun, ruled by Mars in Leo, where it's very comfortable, can feel very, very unnerved because Uranus is so close. We're also talking about Uranus trining the South Node in Virgo, indicating that there's a necessary break of the old, the familiar. Virgo's very tempered in into like intricate details. Again, this sort of brings up the fashion industry for me. What has always been in the fashion industry, it's all very pure and Virgoan and virginal and very meticulous. So that really does hammer home this fashion world and cosmetics being taken for a bit of a spin. Okay. So the planets that are in Taurus opposed to this, uncomfortable truth bomb, they're the guys that are really going to have a problem, because they're about holding a line and having things just beautiful and, together, starting to grow something really big here. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, you're not. Black Moon Lilith isn't going to have it with, so this also can really be quite a spanner in the works for fashion houses that come out with their designs, their fall, winter designs and spring, summer designs. And I think maybe their marketing ploys and their revenue is really going to plummet quite a bit with Uranus trining the South Node in Virgo. Yeah, it's a big one. It's going to be a big full moon in Scorpio. So where's Scorpio in your own natal chart? And if you think of Scorpio in your own natal chart, whatever house that's in, well, there's a truth that's been almost muted, muzzled. And that can be an uncomfortable understanding that there's something that's been laying dormant and in secret that now needs to be purged. It's going to ruffle the feathers, But that's what Black Moon Lilith is here to do, is to get you out of this fixed illusion of no truth. There's got to be a truth to what you fixate on. And if it's wrong or it's being withheld, then this full moon on the 12th of May is going to almost feel like the timing couldn't be worse, especially with Mars and Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, squaring it. You may want to take quick action to get it sorted once and for all, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio is going to be the gift that keeps on giving about truth until it's finally sorted. So big full moon coming up. Black Moon Lilith's full moon in Scorpio on the 12th of May 2025.